What's up, guys? It's Russo, and I'm back with some more NFL picks for you. It's been a long day, but I've been having a blast. This is my fourth video between my NBA picks and the Backdoor Fantasy Sports picks that we've been putting out. But I'm really excited for this slate tomorrow, and I was looking at what kind of plays I'd like to put on my private channel. I guess I should say solo channel. It's not private, but, Jordy and I started our own channels too. It's been a lot of fun. And I just kept finding plays that I like, so I put together a six-man. You don't have to take all of them, but you can pick and choose, fade the ones you don't like, or take all six of them if you want. First of all, you got to tell me, what do you think about this new shirt I got? JCPenney, $8. Yeah, I shop at JCPenney. There's nothing you or anyone else can do about that. I happen to like that store. But let's take a look at these plays that I'm feeling good about. And I was actually able to find 6 plays that we didn't take in the Backdoor Fantasy Sports video. So that's 10 total plays that I've put out with between me and Jordy. And then Jordy's going to drop some plays too. So I'm sure there'll be a couple more between the two of us. You guys could have like 12-ish, maybe more than that, plays to pick and choose from. But I do like all of these. I'm not just trying to string these together, but let's take a look here. So Austin Ekeler, running back for the Commanders. I like him over 26.5 receiving yards. Noah Gray, tight end for the Chiefs. I like him over 3.5 fantasy score. Kareem Hunt, running back for the Chiefs, 37.5 rushing yards, taking that for more. Kenneth Gainwell, backup running back for the Philadelphia Eagles, 9.5 rushing yards. I'm liking that. Dawson Knox, tight end for the Buffalo Bills, 1.5 receptions. And then Terry McLaurin, wide receiver for the Commanders, over 14 fantasy score. So I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible, but it is a lot of plays. So bear with me. I'd like to get through it as soon as possible, but my computer is also processing a little bit slow with all the windows I have open. But if we take a look at Ekeler here, he's already cleared this receiving yards line on a 50% hit rate, 8 out of 14 games. The matchup is kind of tough overall, second in receiving yards allowed. But then when you go to running backs, there's a little bit of a soft spot, 10th in receiving yards allowed by running backs. And then we've got a note from Outlier for this. Come on, process faster. Okay. He's exceeded 25.5 receiving yards in 5 out of his last 6 games on the road. So on the road, he's playing even better. 44 receiving yards a game is what he's averaging. But a big part of that is because one of those road games was the last time that he played in Philly. He had 89 receiving yards, went nuts, 9 targets, 8 receptions. So he's been fitting this Cliff Kingsbury offense great. He's still got plenty of juice left in the tank, is what he's showing us. Don't forget, this used to be like the #1 overall fantasy pick just a few years ago. Absolute superstar of a player. And he seems to be that extra electric running style that works well in this Kingsbury, offense, which is really fast paced, a lot of no huddle. And Kingsbury has just been an absolute maestro this year. So he has so many different looks he can throw at defenses, and Ekeler is perfect to fit that because he's actually like sort of underrated as just like a strong running back running it. But he tends to get a lot more of the pass work because Brian Robinson is awesome, but he's just a little bit slower. He tends to be more of like a let's get the first down, he's sort of like a little bulldozer. So I think that Ekeler will be heavily involved in this game and get plenty of opportunities here to clear this 25.5 receiving yards. Let's take a look at daily grind for this. They don't like his rushing yards. They don't like his rushing and receiving. They like his rush attempts over 5.5. They like his receptions over 3. That makes me feel good about the receiving yards as well. They like his fantasy score over 9. And I'm not even seeing the receiving yards on here. Maybe DG is not picking it up. Well, you can go with your gut. I'm going to be taking it. My gosh. They've set his targets line at 9. So is that right? No. Okay, I read that wrong. That's his fantasy score. I'm like, dude, that's crazy. No, they like his targets over 4, just slightly. I mean, it's pretty much a 50-50 shot, but I think he can get us those receiving yards, especially how well he matched up in that last game. So let's keep it moving. So we got Noah Gray here. I know that he hasn't gotten like a ton of love over this little 3-game stretch, but he got this done just barely last game against Houston. 4.3 fantasy score, but we don't need him to get that much. what are we getting it at? Like 3.5? Is that what I said? Let me just double check here. Yeah, 3.5 fantasy score. So if you take a look at his receptions, they get his 1.5 receptions on Prize Picks as a goblin. So they expect him to get at least 2 is kind of what they're saying there. And so if he gets 2, I think that we're already on our way because it's full point PPR. So you get a full point for every catch. And then if you add the yards onto there, I just think that all the attention is going to be on Travis Kelce. And I think that Noah Gray will end up getting a few more looks. If we take a look at this note from Outlier, my favorite thing to say because I love this app, he's exceeded it in 4 out of his last 5 games at home. So 5.3 fantasy score is what he's averaging, 80% hit rate. So this is like a low line. We don't expect him to absolutely crush this, but if he happens to get in the end zone, he's totally going to kill that. Let's take a look at the touchdowns matchup. I don't expect him to, it's not like I'm counting on him getting a touchdown here, but let's take a look at the matchup. So 19th in touchdowns allowed overall, and then a little bit tougher against tight ends, 10th in touchdowns against. Did he get one against them yet? Oh, look at that. This season on November 17th, he actually had 2 touchdowns against them. So maybe we can at least get 1. All I know is there's a lot of different ways that he can cash 3.5 fantasy score. So we're going to roll it. Let me type him in real quick. Noah. I would have this already, every tab open with Daily Grind, just good to go. But I mean, you see what my computer's doing now. So they don't have the fantasy score listed on here, but they like his 15.5 receiving yards to go over. I think that looks great too. You guys could pivot to that if you prefer, because if he cashes the fantasy score, he's probably getting 15.5 receiving yards. They don't like his 2.5 targets, so they're not expecting him to get that many targets, but they are expecting him to beat the 15.5 receiving yards. So if you prefer, take that. I like the fantasy score, but just in case, so we have that touchdown upside. But yeah, that looks great too if you prefer that. 50.77% odds to hit the over, minus 120. Let's keep it rolling here. All right, so Kareem Hunt, 37.5 rushing yards is what we're looking at. And let's just change that. Take a look at 37.5, because this has already been bumped a couple times. He's kind of taken over this role as the lead back. At worst, it's a 50-50 split between him and Isaiah Pacheco. I love this narrative where he's come back, to Kansas City when he got let go years and years ago. And he's been playing great for them. So they've just kind of been running with the momentum. He already knows the offense well. But 71% hit rate on the 2024 season, 10 out of 14 games. Looking great. Let's take a look at the head-to-head. How did he do there? Okay, last time they played on the 17th when Noah Gray got the 2 touchdowns, he went for 60 rushing yards. That game, and that's with them losing the game. So you'd think if they're in a deficit, there would be less rushing to be had, but they still kept establishing the run with him. We got 17th in rushing yards allowed by Buffalo, and then overall 12th. So a little bit of a soft spot there. And then take a look at this note from Outlier. So it's the same thing that we were talking about. So this is actually at the 33.5 line. But yeah, 79% hit rate over that, but we know that it's already been bumped a little bit. We're still comfortable with it. So we kind of covered that. I'll take a look at it one more time just to give you guys the accurate number there. Oh wait, so over 37.5, 6 out of 10. Oh wait, that's the last 10. Gotcha. 2024. 71% hit rate, 10 out of 14. I'll take it. Let's look at that over under real quick. So yeah, we got 2 games that should be a lot of fun. It's going to be a relaxing Sunday, guys. 48.5 point over under for the Chiefs Bills game, 1.5 point spread, favoring the Chiefs playing in Kansas City. And then we got a 47.5 point over under. Man, they really, okay. So 6.5 point spread to Philly. This is going to be interesting because the thing is, Washington has no pressure. They're already playing on house money. They're already exceeding the expectations, and the pressure's all on Philly, especially with home field advantage. But look out for Washington. This is a scary offense, and they're cleaning up their defense. This is just a dream scenario for the franchise. Rookie quarterback, new coaching staff, and they look ready. So I think that Washington could take this game. But yeah, they are favoring Philadelphia by 6.5 points. We have okay weather, no crazy wind or anything, and not expecting any snow, but it's going to be cold. All right, so that's Kareem Hunt. Yeah, we pretty much covered that. Let's see what DG thinks. They like his rush attempts over 8.5. They have it at a 50.84% odds to hit the over minus 121. They don't like the rushing yards because it is the most expensive on Prize Picks. It's just barely favored to the under, 50.72% odds to hit the under, minus 120. But what the optimizer is doing is it's looking at all of the other, platforms and saying like, hey, this is the most expensive. So if other odds makers are setting this around 33 to 36 and you're paying 37, maybe you should take the under. That's all that's saying. Once you get to know how to use the optimizer, it's awesome. And it's not that difficult to learn, but it is, you got to learn kind of how to read it when it's like, okay, why is it favoring it under? It's favoring it under because it's more expensive on this platform. But I'm still confident he's going to get that done. He went for 60 last time they matched up. So Kenneth Gainwell, if we take a look at the 2024 season, he's already cleared this. This is just way too low of a line. 9.5 rushing yards, 29th in rushing yards allowed is Washington, and 30th in rushing yards overall, but 29th to running backs in particular. But he's hit this at a 68% hit rate on the 2024 season, 13 out of 19 games. Let's look at the head-to-head. I wonder how that looks. Okay, so last time they played, he just barely, this is at 7.5. We're getting it at 9.5. So he was like 3 yards away from hitting it last time they played. And that was actually, 36 to 33 in the most recent game on December 22nd. The game before that, when Philadelphia did play with the lead, he actually went for 43 rushing yards. But we have seen as of late, they've been giving him a little bit more of an opportunity to, because you got Saquon rushing for like 205 yards against the Rams. Like when Saquon's going nuts like that, they've got to get a little bit of a relief in there. But if the run, establishing the run is working for them, they're going to bring in Gainwell. And sometimes, honestly, Gainwell gets things rolling. But yeah, he's cleared this in 3 straight games. And then grab this note from Outlier. Now this is for 7.5, but I'll take a look here. So 13 out of 16 games, 19. He's averaging 19.1 rushing yards a game. So in the last 16 games, so he's almost doubling the line we're getting. But obviously, you got to take 2 off of this. So because these 2 of these are at 9, but getting us at least 10, he's done it in 11 out of 16 games. So I feel like he can get it done for us. I think that there's just a lot of different ways that he can cash this for us. Let's take a look at him real fast. On Daily Grind. All right. It's almost loading. It's not the optimizer's fault. My computer's just like sick of everything I'm asking it to do. So the optimizer is seeing the same thing. It's saying this is two points higher on Prize Picks. Maybe you should take the under. It's saying 50.82% odds to hit the under, minus 121. So not heavy juice or anything. You do have multiple platforms bumping this up to 9.5. So, I mean, go with your gut. You don't have to take it. You could take the under if you prefer. You could just keep this out of your lineup. That's up to you to decide. But moving on, Dawson Knox. So out of his last 10 games, he's hit this 6 out of 10 games, going for at least 2 receptions. And on the 2024 season, it's been mostly the back half of the season that he's been turning things up a little bit. So only 7 out of 18 games, 39% hit rate on the whole season. But you saw this first leg of the season, he just really wasn't doing as much. The matchup's looking great though. 29th in receptions allowed to tight ends and overall 22nd. So we have like a 7 line rank bump there to the tight end position. So I'm feeling good about him getting this done. And then, what is that? 3 out of the last 5. He's cleared it. And then let's look at the head-to-head. So last time they matched up, The only time this year that they played in that game on November 17th, he had 4 receptions. So we need him to just get half of that for us. Let's take a look. So he had 6 targets in that game and cashed 4 of them. And then, actually, let's go. And I hate when I press the wrong button because it's moving slow right now. We're going to go back to last 10 and take a look at the receptions. Okay, so yeah, again, we need 2 receptions here. And I just feel like this is somewhat of a low-hanging fruit with this soft matchup that maybe be going kind of under the radar for a solid play. And then we're going to throw him into daily grind. Okay. They like his fantasy score over 3.5. You could take that. There's a good chance if he cashes 2 catches for us that he's probably, maybe if those are for 10 yards or more each reception, then he's going to be at 4 fantasy points. So maybe take that, because what if he gets in the end zone? You could run that. So 50.94% odds to hit the over on that one. They do like the receptions, really close to the same. They have it at a 50.53% odds to hit the over, -120. Everyone's leaving at 1.5. I wouldn't be surprised if before game time, maybe this gets bumped up to 2 on Prize Picks. But yeah, I like both of these. So if you want the fantasy score, you can take that. The targets, they have it at a 50-50 shot at 2.5. I'd rather just take the receptions or the fantasy score personally. But go with your gut. That's up to you to decide. So Terry McLaurin, look at this. This is the 2024 season. 79% hit rate across the whole season. 15 of 19 games he's hit this. I'm loving this because Terry McLaurin has been such a loyal player for the Commanders, and he's been through so much. I'm not going to go on too long about it, but you love to see him in one season feel everything coming back that he's been holding out for. Dude showed them loyalty. Now he's got this awesome, exciting young team, new coaching staff, rookie quarterback who looks like an absolute future Hall of Famer if he keeps this up, just breaking rookie records. So I love to see this for Terry McLaurin. So the matchup is tough against Philly, 3rd in receiving yards allowed to wide receivers. But 2024 season, 58% hit rate, 11 out of 19 games. So this is the receiving yards alone. Let me go back to, let me just look at the receptions too, because his receptions, I just want to give you guys, if we're taking the fantasy score, I want to give you a little bit of detail about the matchup. So overall, they are 7th in receptions allowed and 11th in receptions allowed to wide receivers. So he, a little bit of soft spot there. Let's take a look at how many receptions he got in the last game that they played. Okay, so he's gotten at least 5 receptions in 3 out of 5 games. And you know what's really wild? You could consider this too. You could consider just taking his touchdowns alone. He got one in the last game, if you prefer, but look at the touchdowns on the 2024 season. It's not bad at all. 11 out of 19 games. 4 of those games he went for 2 touchdowns. And then we've got 7 out of his last 8 games he's gotten in the end zone. So 7 out of his last 8 games, he has 9 touchdowns. So that's not bad. 9 touchdowns in your last 8 games. So let me go back to fantasy score. We'll wrap this thing up. All right. So fantasy score, let's take a look here. So he's exceeded 14 fantasy score in 15 of his last 17 games, averaging 17.5 fantasy score, 88% hit rate. So I had to throw this in to wrap up the slip. That's 6 picks. If you guys appreciate what I'm doing here, do me a favor and again, help me with the algorithm. Like the video, make sure you're subscribed. If I make a demon slip, let me know in the comments. I like making YOLO demon slips, especially for football. You guys want me to share that to the community, I will. Just let me know in the comments if you guys are into that type of thing, and I'll post it. Once I make it, I'll post it to the community section, and you should be notified. If you have your notifications on, it should let you know when I drop that slip. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy your weekend. Before I get out of here, if you guys want to check out Daily Grind, this optimizer, you can get 25% off if you use code BACKDOOR. Just go to dgfantasy.com, put in code BACKDOOR, and they'll let you lock that in for as long as you want, all the way up to a year. And then if you want to check out this app, Outlier, I'm always singing its praises because I absolutely love this app. I love statistical analysis and diving deep into all of the stats, and they give me that opportunity. You have every single category here. You can go, head-to-head matchups, 2024, 2023. You get the specific matchups, injury reports, and insights about the players. It's awesome. You can try it for free. Go through the link below for Outlier, and you don't have to put in a code. Just sign up through that link, and they're going to give you a week to see how you like it. You could use it for the rest of the weekend, a little bit. It does NBA too, but just try it out, and they will hook you up with a week to see how you like it. But anyways, guys, have a great weekend, and we'll catch you in the next video.